for an epic adventure with Max the Pencil. When he draws all day and all night, his doodles come to life and wreak havoc at school. Can he fix the mess he made before Mr. Williams catches him? Find out in this hilarious story. One day in Mrs. Williams' class was like any other. The students were out playing tag in gym class. Mrs. Williams was busy grading papers and the janitor was sweeping the floor in the hallway. It was boring. Max the Pencil was sitting in his pencil sharpener watching the clock. He just wanted to draw something cool. So when the bell rang for recess, Max took off to the art room. As soon as he entered the art room, he began drawing. He drew a dragon that could fly around the school, a gorilla that played basketball, and a kangaroo that hopped around the playground. But then he started feeling hungry. Instead of taking a break to get some snacks, he drew a giant piece of pizza that came to life and gobbled up all the art supplies. Max had never seen a pizza this big before. It was nearly as big as he was. It was covered in pepperoni and melted cheese, and it smelled delicious. And just like that, Max forgot all about his other drawings. He kept eating until the pizza was gone. Then he felt really guilty for letting his hunger take over, and he wished he could undo what he had done. Fortunately, he didn't have an eraser, so he had no choice but to start drawing again. He drew an eraser that flew through the air and erased everything that had happened in the art room. All his mistakes, the pizza, the eaten art supplies, it was all gone. Max thought to himself, I wish I could erase my mistakes in real life. Suddenly, the eraser flew out of the pencil sharpener and hovered in front of Max. He was shocked. His drawings were coming to life. The eraser told Max, you wished for this, now deal with it. Then the eraser started erasing Max's desk. Max quickly grabbed the eraser before it could do any more damage. He apologized for making the wish and asked the eraser to stop. The eraser said, no way. You should let your drawings come to life. It'll be fun. Before Max could say another word, the eraser flew away. It went to the trash can and started erasing the pencils inside. Max knew he had to stop the eraser, but he wasn't sure how. He looked around the room for something he could use to catch the eraser, but everything seemed too small. Just then, he spotted his pencil sharpener. It was big enough to trap the eraser, so he started running toward it. The eraser saw Max coming and tried to erase him, but Max was too quick. He jumped into the pencil sharpener, but as he did, the eraser poked a hole in his side. Now colored pencils were falling out of Max, and Max the Pencil wasn't sure if he could stop the eraser before he lost his mind. Max rolled around in the pencil sharpener trying to think of a plan. Then he had an idea. He would draw something to help him, but he was losing his mind as colorful pencils flew everywhere. He needed something big. He drew a hand as big as he was. It reached into the pencil sharpener and grabbed the eraser. Then it marched over to the trash can and put the eraser inside. Max was finally safe, but he was very sad that he couldn't draw anymore. Then he noticed that the pencils that fell out of him were now sharpened to perfection. Max smiled. Maybe being dull wasn't so bad after all. Suddenly, the door burst open and Mr. Williams walked in. He looked around the room and asked, who's been using my pencils? Max the Pencil immediately panicked. What would Mr. Williams do to him if he found out he was alive? Would he throw him away? Would he break him in half? Before Max could think of an escape plan, Mr. Williams started to leave. Max breathed a sigh of relief, but then he heard something strange. He listened closely and realized that the pencils were moving on their own. One of them was even drawing on the wall. Max couldn't believe it. His other drawings were coming to life, too. He watched as the colored pencils raced around the room. They were having so much fun. Max felt happy that his drawings could enjoy themselves, but he also felt a little left out. He wanted to play, too, so he drew a body for himself and got to work on creating some mischief. He drew a pair of shoes and ran around the room as fast as he could. Then he drew wings and flew over to the window. He looked out at the schoolyard and decided to see what his other drawings were up to. The basketball court was in total chaos. The gorilla was bouncing the basketball on its tail. Kangaroo was trying to dunk the ball, but it kept missing. And the dragon was using its tail to spin the globe. Max landed next to them and asked if he could play too. The dragon stopped spinning the globe and said, you can't play with us. You're not a doodle. Max was upset. He wanted to have fun, but he was too perfect to join the others. Then the globe spoke up. It said, don't listen to the dragon. You can play with us. Max smiled and joined right in. They played until lunchtime, then they all flew back to the art room for some pizza. They ate and drank until it was time for school to start again. Max was having so much fun, but he knew he had to get back to class before Mr. Williams noticed he was missing. So he said goodbye to his friends and hurried to his classroom. He just made it in time before Mr. Williams started the lesson. As soon as he sat down, though, the dragon flew onto his desk. It whispered, "Let's play one more game." Max was tempted to stay and play with his friends, but he knew he had to go to class. The dragon flew around the room during the lesson, leaving a trail of glitter in its wake. Misses. Williams didn't seem to notice, but Max could feel himself getting distracted. He missed important information and his mind wandered to thoughts of dragons and pizza. When the bell finally rang, Max ran back to the art room. The dragon was still there, along with the eraser, the globe, and the kangaroo. The gorilla wasn't there, though. It was in the hallway drawing pictures on the walls. Max was shocked. His drawing had caused so much damage. Just then, Mr. Williams walked by. He stopped in his tracks and stared at the drawings on the walls. Max quickly grabbed his marker and started to erase the pictures. But it was too late. Mr. Williams had seen enough. He marched into the art room and demanded to know what happened. The dragon flew around Mr. Williams' head, leaving a trail of glitter in its wake. Max explained what happened, but Mr. Williams wasn't buying it. He thought Max was making up a story. He told Max to clean up his mess while he called the principal. Max sighed. This was going to be a long afternoon. As Max and the other drawings cleaned up the school, they learned a valuable lesson about self-control. They also learned that drawing can be a lot of fun, but it is important to take breaks and not let your hunger or excitement get the best of you. Finally, it was time to go home. Max said goodbye to his new friends and promised to visit them again soon. As he walked out the door, he couldn't help but smile. Being a pencil wasn't so bad after all.